So she is in the same position that Levalati was in the discus.
And at the other end of the arena, the pole vaulters have been warming up for quite a while, and we're just about to get this competition underway. Spoiler Sharon Ambos brings the bar down as a best of 184, so perhaps not one of the stronger competitors in this final. Good experience for Sharon Ambos. Interesting that sometimes, just looking down the results from 2019, I noticed that Salome Lang finished down in 11th place 2 years ago. Just looks what's happened to her. She's been jumping in the high 190s in the last few weeks. Well, here's Gracia of Spain. Neatly over 520.
There were problems at the starting line, but
nicely done, bags of daylight between himself and the bar. Spain, as we've said on numerous occasions, having a fantastic championship so far. 3 gold medals, 1 on each day so far. Well, this is Ioannis Rizos, first attempt at 520. He did all 3 of his attempts to get over 5 meters. Makes 520 at the first time of asking.
And this was Arno Purchase's last 6th attempt, unfortunately not going to the measure. So the 4th today with 65.11, and then it is the 3 last who can still better their result. We shall see.
Greek.
Currently third, Kiira Väänänen with 65.98.
Rizos has a best of 531. It's a man who's vaulted considerably higher. Pitcher of Portugal. It's do or die time. 3rd attempt at 520 for the Portuguese vaulter. Yes, he wriggles over it, so he maintains an interest in this competition. Now, Carlos Pitra gets over at the 3rd time of asking. Just getting some input. He's vaulting. Pitra is a best of 525. Well, we lost 2 men at 520. Fox of Austria, Kravchenko of Ukraine. The bar goes up to 530. Thibaut Collet comfortably clear. Collet, 3rd 2 years ago in Yevla. We have 2 French women on the podium of the women's 3,000 metre steeplechase with Collet and this man, Ethan Cormont. Quite easily have 2 men on the podium from France in the pole vault. Opening height 530. Whoa, bags of daylight. It's almost Duplantis-like. Duplantis would probably do that sort of thing at about 570, 580. This was 530, but still massive amount of height for Cormont. 20 years of age, and he's really moved on this year and took the French title, beating Renaud Lavigny, Valentin Lavigny, all the rest at this height. Now, Emmanuel Caralis. Boom. Number 4 over 530. Well, we're still waiting for several men to come into this competition. The 2 Norwegians, Gottmorsen and Lillefossa, will come in at 540, and Ersu Sazma of Turkey has passed all the way up to 550. In case you're wondering where they were. And 4 men making their mark at these early heights with first-time clearances at 5:30. It's textbook high jumping. So Maya Nilsson, her first attempt at 185. Oh, just drops her shoulder in, crashes through. It's a bit unexpected. That was just a really poor jump from the Swede.
Awards and medals are presented by European Athletics Council honorary member Mr. Jose Luis de Carlos.
So, Spaniard, Gracia, Alex Gracia. Nevertheless, a couple more hundreds would have meant a couple more points, I think. Confirmation of the standing, should say the results after the first of the 3 400-metre heats, and it was Bruno Comin came home in front in 49.42, and personal bests for the first 5 men home. Kunskus running under 50 seconds with that 49.81 in third place for the first time ever. So Alex Gracia, third attempt at 5:30. Well, Lazarich is starting to shape up as a potential medal contender. He's had a very good series of performances over the first 4 disciplines of the decathlon, and he's topped it up with a big personal best there. Still only 19 years of age as well, so as we've mentioned on a few occasions, he'll be eligible to compete in Espoo at the next edition of these championships in 2023 when they'll be held in Finland. So the opening height for Sondre Gudmorsen. Saw his brother Seema go out in the qualifying by no heighting. No problems for Gudmorsen. Also cleared 5:81 recently when he was out in California at Chula Vista. It was a national record as well as a national under-23 record, which is supposed to be a training competition. Ends up going over a national record. And that's the sort of height you'll be looking for in this competition. Championship record, one of the oldest on the books, dating back to 1999 at 5:93 to Romain Menin. Went on to win medals at World Championships. Now, Erik Hammer, Estonian. Andrioglu lost in the region of around 800 points. Now, Lillefoss, under 20 champion 2 years ago, attempting 550, gets over.
And unfortunately, none of the high jumpers cleared the 192 on first attempt, since
Nice
Slava Mahuchi
vault by Lillefoss.
is not going to jump 192. She will jump again with 195 on the bar. But Maja Nilsson and Stolovski, Karina Levedikol needing a
Personal
second.
best of 561 last year, 560 this year.
192.
That happened earlier this year. The man who got the bronze medal 2 years ago, Thibaut Collet. No failures in this competition so far. Well, Maricic has won everything at age group level. Silver as a teenager at the World Championships 2 years ago in Doha. Also won the European Indoor Championships in Torun back in March. At the moment, now the world's #1 high jumper. Just remember, he hasn't turned 20 yet. So, opening height of 550 for Ursu Sazma. Very impressive new face on the scene, the Turk. Makes it.
So
Nicely done.
means that in
Plenty
the
of
high
height.
jump The only thing we do not know yet is the Yaroslava Mahmoudi's
just to my comment about Alina Zhuk, who is the World Junior Pentathlon record holder and was just throwing the javelin here. I was wondering why she wasn't in the heptathlon, and at the moment she's nursing a heel injury, and it's been decided that she will have surgery when she gets home to Ukraine after these championships. So if you're wondering why we didn't see Alina Zhuk in the heptathlon, that's the reason why. As we look at Emmanuel Karalis, his first attempt at 550.
She knows she is
the championship record of 1m98 has been standing to something like 6 women who've cleared 198 over the years. That's Tatiana Stepanova. Alina Zhuk, you can see just peeking round. Zhuk, well, has won many competitions, both in the heptathlon and the javelin. So, opening height of 550 for Ursu Sazma. Very impressive new face on the scene, the Turk. Makes it.
So
nicely done. Plenty of height.
The only thing we do not know yet
just
is
to
the
track back, just to my comment about Alina Zhuk, who is the World Junior Pentathlon record holder and was just throwing the javelin here. I was wondering why she wasn't in the heptathlon, and at the moment she's nursing a heel injury, and it's been decided that she will have surgery when she gets home to Ukraine after these championships. If you're wondering why we didn't see Alina Zhuk in the heptathlon, that's the reason why. As we look at Emmanuel Karalis, his first attempt at 550. 2 heights clear of everybody else. 11 centimetres between her and the silver and bronze medalist, Maya Nilsson and Leah Apostolovsky. There's the full rundown. And there's the 3 medalists. Well, Nilsson and Apostolovsky, I think they always knew that barring accidents they were coming here to fight for the minor medals. So, Erik Hammer, second attempt for the Estonian at 550. Estonian under 23 record holder, and he's over! And he's over! Estonian under 23 record holder at 560. Nicely executed. He makes it 6 men over this height. Wilson still in the competition as well as Alex Gracia.
In the men's 10,000 metres, I think it was, the French athlete who, with about 1 kilometre in to that race, he really made a break for it at the front, and in the end he tied. I wonder whether any of these athletes will be brave enough to do something interesting like that.
Well, you raise an interesting question there. I mean, if the A final turns into a tactical affair and times are very slow and somebody just decides to run a fast, perhaps even a time trial in the B race, how would it be decided? Because it would seem unfair in that situation that the men in the A race, because it's a championship race, would potentially be pushed down the standings. As we look at Lillefosser, Paul Hagen Lillefosser, first attempt at 560 for the Norwegian. Slithers over, 1 centimetre below his personal best for the 20-year-old Norwegian. So this is going to be a very, very good competition.
Mohamed
Probably
goes to lead.
the most in-depth pole vault competitions we'll have ever seen at under 23 level. We've seen some fantastic vaulting by individuals, and the championship record is 593. Now, for Thomsen.
The Spanish team really does have some great strength in depth right across track and field, but particularly on the track. They also won the race walk, but I feel as though, as they lead the medal table as well with 9 medals in total, the Spanish team impressing most of all. Is that fair to say, Phil?
Oh, I think so far, yes. They've had a terrific 3 days, not just been On the odd occasion I've come off the microphone just looking at the Spanish Federation Twitter and other social media feeds, and they are really delighting in the performances of their very big team that they've sent to Tallinn. The pole vault now. Ethan Cormont, first attempt at 560. See two Norwegians go clear. Now it's a Frenchman. Fremont over 560 on their first attempt. Foreman had a flying clearance of 550, and that was a very good one indeed. Although clearance you saw just a couple of minutes ago from Sondre Monsen, that was really a jaw-dropping clearance.
Good. He's broken his own best, has Magnusson, in bronze behind Las Heras of Spain. That's bringing them up to 10 medals overall, I think, and then Mohammed of Germany taking the gold.
Mohammed about 10 seconds slow of his personal best, but you can just see in a race where he could just tuck in behind pacemakers and the laps will be quicker. At 13:28 personal best is ready to be decimated. He already looks like a 13:15 runner, I think. Erich Heimer, third and final attempt at 560. Oh no, not on this occasion, he brings the bar down. But he's acquitted himself very well as Erich Heimer. 550. It does look as though the pace is just dropping a little bit. McElhenney to do it, as Alex was saying earlier, the hard way, running this as a time trial. Ever so slowly, these men are feeling confident that they're going to be climbing onto the podium. It was very much a tall ask for anybody in this second heat to perhaps challenge the medalists. But McElhenney, well, as Alex was also describing during the first final, these results will be combined. Potentially McElhenney could easily end up about 5th or 6th as we look at Emmanuel Carolis. 565 his second attempt, and he's over.
Well, I think it was clear that Dalia Kadari of Italy was saving something through the rounds, and what an important competition to try and learn to get through the heat and the semi-final as well. Really impressive from her.
This is well from Sophia Jung. Well, she went under 23 seconds for the first time in the semis, 22.92, and shaved another 500ths off in the final. She really raised her game when it mattered. About raising your game when it matters. 575, first time of asking for Ethan Cormont.
So the German relay quartet could be strong then, second and fourth here, and Sophia Jung, already someone who has won the 4x1 title 2 years ago, so nice to see her get some individual success as well. Also part of the World Under-20 winning quartet in Finland 3 years ago. And
just know the Germans are going to come out as well with excellent baton changing. They're going to be well practiced, that's for sure as well. Of course, accidents can happen in the 4x100. I'm prepared to hang the mantle of favourites on the German women quartet in the 4x100 at this stage. As we look back at the pole vault. Now, Carolis has just had a failure as he sits down. Didn't see the attempt, saw the result there. Nordmorsson, well, he's decided to pass once again. He has cleared 581 in his career, so he knows that he can clear a higher height, and the bar will theoretically go up to 580, but he doesn't manage a clearance. Well, 560 will be his best mark, and he'll have to settle for a share of the bronze with Ursus Sasma. There's the rest of the vaulters just looking on. So at this stage, the battle for the medals is still very much alive.
Representing Great Britain, Isabelle Bonfay.
No Spaniards in the final four of the pole vault. Though two Spaniards will be on the 200-metre podium in just a short while when the victory ceremony happens. You can hear in the background the British national anthem, but we're just switching back now to the pole vault. This was recorded a minute or two ago. Gudmorsen failures at 570, 575. Can he pull it out of the back? Oh, huge height, but comes down on the bar. Exactly. Frustration. That could have been a clearance if he could have just pulled himself away from the bar at the height of his vault. Just look at that. Massive height. Comes down on the bar. So, Sondre Gudmorsen, fourth 2 years ago, now equal third. Finishes with a best of 560. Clean sheet up until that point, and we'll share that third place on the podium with Ersu Sazma of Turkey. Well, now we know that the gold and silver medalists will be either Ethan Cormon, who's cleared 575, or Emmanuel Carolis, who was over 560. 565, I should say. So, Ethan Cormon, over 575 at the first time of asking, slithered over, got himself out of trouble on his third attempt at 570, now in the gold medal position. Carolis, after one failure at 575, has opted to pass up. Carolis, personal best of 571. Cormon, well, this would be a personal best for him. He equalled it at 575. Let's remember Carolis also the silver medalist 2 years ago as a 19-year-old. On that occasion, silver and bronze were at 560. So this is a better quality competition than we saw 2 years ago. Ethan Cormon just trying to compose himself at this, which would be a personal best height. Cormon surprised everybody by taking the French national title just a couple of weeks ago in Angers. Cleared 570 on that occasion. Well, big change from 2 years ago when he no-heighted in the qualifying rounds of the European Under-20 competition. Now battling for gold at the European Under-23s in Tallinn. 580, first attempt for Ethan Cormon. Oh! Yes, it stays up, it's a personal best. Wriggled his way round it, but Ethan Cormon absolutely nailed it and has cleared 5 meters 80. How does Emmanuel Carolis respond to that? Just look at that. Great height and good technique above the bar. Gets himself away, just tickles the bar with his chest, but it stays up. Wobbles, but doesn't fall down. Congratulations from Ersu Sazma. Rueful look on the face of Emmanuel Carolis. He knows he's got the silver medal. That's already in the bank. If he can get over 580 at the first time of asking, it would put him back into the gold medal position by my calculations. But it would be a 9 centimetre improvement on his personal best. But he's just watched Cormon go over 580 and put 5 centimetres onto his personal best. No, takes it off with his feet going up. So he's got one more attempt at this height. So he had a failure at 575.
Attempt to the next height. And now clearing the 580 at the last attempt won't help him.
So they'll reset the bar. Carolis.
What's in his mind and what's in his plan?
Well, now he knows that Even if he clears this height, he would have to settle for the silver medal. Is he going to be involved in a little bit of brinksmanship? Is he going to pass and go up to 585? Or is he just going to try and get a personal best at 580 and stay in the competition? Well, getting a lot of wise advice from his coach.
It's now almost 3 hours of this global competition.
Fine-tuning things for the former European under-18 champion. Won that title in a terrific competition back in 2016. I was lucky enough to be in Tbilisi on that occasion. And he's really carried on after surgery and injuries to come back at the under-23 level and be battling for medals once again. Now Ethan Cormont. Personal best of 580 with his last vault.
So what's going to do? Seems like he's continuing in that fight. Or
nervous moments for the Frenchman. He can only sit and wait as Emmanuel Caralis tries to compose himself. There's Gutmorsen. His competition's over. He knows he's got a bronze medal. Alongside him, Ricardo Klotz of Austria. So I think we're ready to go. Mentally imagining what he has to do to get over this personal best height. Geeing himself up as the rest of the vaulters leave the arena. He and Ethan Cormont, the very last people in action on this, the third day of these European Under-23 Championships. Well, Mohamed gets his gold medal for Germany at the other end of the Kadriorg Stadium. Mohamed winning the A final of the men's 5,000 metres in that unusual situation whereby we had 2 5,000 metre races and then combined the results. The 2 races were seeded on seasonal bests. It's had quite a break. Emmanuel Caralis. Now he's getting ready for his second attempt at 580. His third consecutive attempt after failure at 575. Silver medal 2 years ago behind Bokanda Litabayre. German pole vaulter taking gold on that occasion with Caralis as a 19-year-old silver. No, after all that, just wasn't there. So a second successive silver medal for Emmanuel Caralis with that clearance at 5 meters 65. Well, Greece already got a couple of medals at these championships. That's number 3 for the Greeks. I think they always knew that the pole vault was going to be a very, very close contest. Caralis, well, certainly in consideration for a gold, but they knew that the two Frenchmen and the two Norwegians, as well as Ersu Sasma, we're going to be battling for the medals as well. So, Ethan Cormont knows that he's got the gold medal. Well, in fact, it's an absolute PB. Doesn't just equal it. Gets congratulations from his compatriot Thibaut Collet. Collet, bronze 2 years ago. On this occasion, has to settle for 6th place. And 3rd place is shared between Sondre Gutmorsen and the man who you just saw in the background there, before we switch to a look at Emmanuel Karalis, Ersu Sasma of Turkey. Well, Karalis, you feel, like so many of these vaulters, a huge talent. We expect over the years to come for him to go higher and higher. Ethan Cormont is 20 years of age.
Championships for the winners of